welcome to a new release of Tapping into the Energy of Life. Today, we're talking about friendship. So, we're going to express and we're going to share with you the values of friendship. Why is it easy or hard to make friends when you get older? And a few points that are so important to make and keep friends. So, today, Carol was going to share with us some interesting information about why we only need 5 friends in our lives. So, Carol, go ahead and share with us.
Well, it's funny. I learned that comment from, see if you can follow this. My daughter's boyfriend's father said to me one day, you only need five. I'm like, five what? You only need five really good friends. And he elaborated on it to say that, in your life, you only need five people, hopefully five. Sometimes it might be seven times, sometimes it might only be three, of people that you can really count on in your life so that when the shit hits the fan in your life, if you need something, you need to go visit somebody to get out of the house, you need whatever you need, that you can count on one of those five people or multiple ones of those five people to help lift you back up and get you back on your feet emotionally, whatever. And that was so true with me with when our ship sunk and we went back to Thomas's number one friend. We went to his house for like 3 weeks, and then we went to my friend's house in Maryland that I talk about often, Beth. And it's having those people that you can rely on. So I encourage you all to make sure that you have those five friends and that you're that friend for somebody else as well. Um, because we're all connected. Another thing about friends that recently happened for me was I encourage you all to reconnect with old friends. I had a friend, my best friend in high school, and we were freshman roommates in college. And we were so close. We were, how when you're young and in high school, you're on the phone for hours, with that girlfriend, right? Well, she was that girlfriend. And we reconnected because our high school reunion was coming up. And her and I, it was like we never left off. And, I said to her after, a couple encounters together, I'm like, now I know why we were such good friends to begin with. And we still have that energy that resonates with each other. And now we text every day, we talk on the phone, and we're just so happy that we have reconnected. So I encourage you all to think about who is, somebody else in your life before that, you need to reach out again because when you have that close of friendship, you don't have to talk that often. Like I have another friend that I talk to maybe once a year. She calls me on my birthday, but I visited her when we went up to Boston. And again, it was like we'd never left off and we had to help raise our children together. So it's those kinds of things. So I encourage you all to kind of open up and connect with friends. And my other thought about friendship was the cruising community, we meet a lot of people. Um, and it's so fun to meet somebody that you instantly connect with. And I think we all can and understand that, like you meet somebody and instantly there's just this energy between the two of you, and you just know that you are like kind of soul sisters, kind of thing. And then you meet other people that are just like, they're nice, but no, I don't really want to get to know them any better. I don't need to get to know them any better versus, somebody that you just instantly connect with. Um, so those are some of my initial thoughts on friendship, and some encouraging words.
Mm. That makes me think about the this saying that is there that says that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So you just said 5 friends. So I think that's really, really interesting when you read and follow people that are like in the business environment or in the consciousness environment. They tell you that your relationships are so important and that the 5 people that you spend the most time with have you become like them and you share energies and frequencies with them. So be aware of who you spend time with and see if you really relate to that. And as you were saying, Carol, try to spend more time with those 5 people that are main in your life, that you really connect, that you really feel like you can share. Because I really think that's very important for our evolution and for really bonding with the people that we connect with. So I think that that's part of evolution and growing up also. And one thing that I heard about not very long ago was that it became harder with age to make friends. And that was shocking for me because in my case, it's exactly the opposite. I can relate to why they were talking about that because they said that because you're in your job 8 hours a day for 5 days a week, then you try to make friends with the people that are in the same building or job. And I really think that that really kind of makes you have like a kind of environment that is very narrow to actually have relationships, because then you're tired, you go home and you have your maybe your friends from
True.
back of when you were at school or things, but to know more people, to have hobbies, etc., and to do things you love, you don't have so much time. Whether, for example, when you are an entrepreneur or you have other kind of life not so enclosed into the same building, then you meet a lot of people. And in my case, is that's the case. I meet a lot of people, I work with a lot of people, I teach a lot of people, and that makes my environment very rich and very nourishing. Well, as when I was a child, like when I was a child, in fact, it was so hard for me because I was very shy and I was the one odd out of, the weird one. I used to think that the conversations were boring and I didn't engage. So, and now one of the things that I think it's making it easier for me is that I know myself much better and I can take myself to the environments where there are people and activities that I really love. And I don't have to be where I don't want to be. So it makes it easier because when you're doing things that you like or with people that you like, it's easier to connect. And as you were saying, Carol, that you said it beautifully, when you connect with someone instantly, you have this frequency, that person, and you is like a recognition, something that tells you, I know this person, even though you may not know her, but you think you know her. And that's a good sign that you're getting to know your soul family or your friends or your chosen family, however you want to call it. But it's like there's a bond and you can go and
Yeah.
explore that. And when you're older, I think that's much easier. So that's one of the things that I wanted to share with people because I've heard that in a very famous podcast and they were sharing about it, and I understand where they came from because they were also saying something that I really connected with, which is like there are 3 pillars, which are proximity, timing, and frequency or energy. And I really think that is very basic. So when you're friends, you want to be close, even if you're away, as you were saying, Carol, you don't need to talk to people every day. You don't need to be in the same city. Because for a nomad like me, that's not easy. But, being there.
Me.
Yeah. So being there. So proximity, even if it's just on the phone, but for proximity, whenever you feel like there's a connection, trust the connection and just go with it. And whenever you feel like calling or being there, just be there. So that is one of the things. And then the timing, because they were talking about people having different timings, like having children or going out with people or, being married, etc. So that changes the environment. I think that happens more when you're not in your own self, when you don't know yourself a lot and you're not sharing with the people that actually do the things that you like. Because when you're in that, for example, for me, it happens like that. Is I don't mind if they're married or single or whatever. It's like we're interested in the same things. So that unites us and bonds us like us,
A common goal. Yes.
like the 3 of us. And I think that you said something very interesting when we were talking about this chapter of tapping into. Palak, that you were saying how we became friends and how is a friendship. So if you want to share something about that, I think that was
Oh,
really.
yeah. It still amazes me how we three became friends in the sense that I don't know. Sometimes there's some energy which you just don't understand, but it just does its work. There was instant uh, fondness for each other. Um, and then as we were
Instant.
meeting, instant, there was a common thread, a common goal that tied us three together, which was that we were all working towards finishing a book proposal to submit. And that was a common goal which tied us together. But what amazed me, and I used to tell my girls that the commitment. I mean, you're busy working, deadline is is nearby. You're busy working on your own proposal, but to take out time and read somebody else's um, book proposal so sincerely, noting down feedback, positive as well as recommendations, and then finding time that we meet next to actually share and coming up with ideas. That gives such a beautiful feeling of support and safe journey, and the genuine care that was coming out from the three of us for each other's work. That really touched me. I'm like, oh my God, we don't even know each other from Adam. And here we are rooting for each other, supporting each other, and saying, no, 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 you can write this, write this. What about this? How we were doing it. So there was I don't know what, and I mean, you can explain sometimes, the connection that y'all have, we have with each other. And then once the book proposal stopped, we started missing each other. We wanted to catch up and find out how we were doing. And then we said, okay, forget it. Let's just meet every week anyway, regardless. And then our talk started becoming so interesting that Maria, you came up with the idea, let's start a podcast. This is so interesting. Three different people from three different parts of the world with three extreme, what do you say, ways of living. And that was really amazing. And even now, imagine we're meeting after holidays, but that urge, that thirst was there. And guys, before we start recording for the podcast, we actually three meet and we catch up on what's happening on each other's lives. Although we are there on the phone constantly every day, trying to find out what's going on. But I don't know, there's something which is binding us right now together, and the care and the concern for each other. Whatever life you are leading, this is so important to have friends, because it's like you're going to a spa, getting rejuvenated, and you're coming back, like a staycation, and you're coming back and you're refreshed again. And then, especially if you have girlfriends and you're having so much of fun, and it brings the child in you alive again, isn't it? Sometimes the way we giggle and we laugh,
Yeah.
it's I remember as I was growing up, my dad used to always say, guys, never underestimate the value of friends, because he's had since childhood, he's had his friends still. They passed on, and he was with them when they were even passing on. He was with one of them until now. His friends, when they visit Dubai, they come and meet him, or they send their children to go and meet him. So they're still in touch with each other. They're all in the 80s now, touch wood. But that friendship is still there. My mom has also got these beautiful two ladies. One is in Canada, Deanne. Her name is Deanne. We got our auntie Deanne, and then there's Ansari auntie who lives in the States, and they have been together living in Dubai. They know each other since more than 40 something years, and they're still together. So when one of the aunts, when she visits Dubai, first thing she comes straight to mom. She spends most of the time with mom only. So it's like they're such great friends, and every day in the morning they're still talking on the phone, they're zooming or they're sending poetries and things like that. It's such a beautiful connection, the care. There's something about friends, and you're so right, Carol. I've got also so many friends who have not met them for years, but when we meet, oh my God, it's like we've never left, we've never been apart. I think friendship is such a beautiful thing. It's a
Yeah.
Is, and
need
I
of
think
existence.
it's very important as you age, from what I've understand as well, that as we get older and older and older, and having friends, having that social circle and social connection is so important to the health of your soul. And that's why it's sad when you get like as old as your dad, where your friends start to pass away. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's so important to have
It's
that
so
depth of
important. Yeah.
friendship.
Also because I think we tend to put so much kind of expectations or emotional expectations if we only have one person in our lives, like our partner or just one
Yes.
friend, and it's very
Yes.
demanding, like expecting all the support and understanding and being there for you for just one person. So it's good to have like all this kind of scenery and people that are there that you support each other. It's like
Yeah.
cultivating this environment of friendship and love and support, and I think it's basic for humans, in general.
Very right.
I think we have
Yeah.
shared like a few tips that are important, so maybe we could do a summary for the people that are watching. I think we talked about the vibrational kind of synchronicity or matching, having that same mindset or frequency or vibration that you don't know how to explain, but you can feel it. We also talked about support, which means also that it's good to share your vulnerability, your needs, the things that are happening to you, being there in those good bad moments. Also having like a common goal or something that bonds you in a way, or the same kind of purpose in life, or something that unites you with these people. And also, one thing we talked about before we were doing the podcast was to respect each other's timings and coming and going, that you have said also. It's not the need to be there all the time, but you can call when you feel. And that freedom, I think it's at least for me, it's so important.
Important.
And I think those are very good pillars for friendship, so that you can rely on them, that you can, that you share and you support them and you want them to be healthy and happy and good. And I think that's one of the most important and beautiful things in life.
There's also one point I'd like to add. It's very important in friends uh, to have allowance with
No,
each other so that you can just be who you are, right?
exactly.
No expectations. Oh, okay, expectations are always there, fine, but no hardcore expectations, but just allowance. Just
Yeah.
be who you are. Yeah.
That you can share your deepest insecurities or just knowing that you can share whatever is on your mind and know that you will have those friends support.
Yeah.
And that's why I love you guys so much.
Same
Um, you
here.
know, you've been such a
Same
blessing to
here.
our lives,
Yeah.
the three of us.
Yeah, I think it also builds up with time, when you find that people, you can be down, you can be tired, you can be sad, you can be however you are, and you still belong and are loved and are held in that space. And I think that's so beautiful. Of course, for
Yeah.
that you have to be courageous and brave and say, "Hi guys, this time I'm like this," and just open up that space for intimacy. But I think that's so important in life. So I think we have
Yeah.
found a treasure here, and I hope
Yes.
that you all that are watching this can feel the same in your lives, that you feel that treasure and that you really take care of your friends and your friendships, because they really are making our lives much better, richer, funnier, and happier. So
Yes.
say
See you next week.
see you
See you
next
next week.
week.
If you've liked our podcast, do like, share, and subscribe.